For those who just recently joined. If you do have any questions during the course of the training, please feel free to then drop them in the meeting chat. You will not be able to unmute yourself. Just to let you know there. And then just another thing, just want to make sure that you can hear me. So if you can give me a thumbs up if you can hear me properly and if you can see my screen, and then we can then start with the training. Okay, perfect. So what we'll do first is I'll first give you a short introduction of IBC, who we are, and then I'll then hand over to Jason from Goodwe, who will then start the whole training. So we can start with our training now. So as IBC, we do offer different varieties of modules, inverters, and storage systems. So on our modules and mounting, we do offer IBC modules and our own mounting structure, and we do offer Longi, Jollywood, and Canadian solar modules. On the inverter side, we also do offer SMA, Fronius, Victron, Goodwe, Attest, and Sungrow. So this different variety of products can do accommodate from residential to commercial scale. So if you do have any projects, I think our brand offering does accommodate such cases. So if you do have any questions, feel free to contact us. On the storage side, we do have our own local battery, SolMD, one of the leading batteries in the South African market. And we do also have BYD, which is well known internationally. And we do have SunGrow, which goes together with its own inverters. Now, in the team, we do have Daniel and Helga, who are on the managing role. So Daniel's the managing director, and Helga Frank is the head of finance and operations. And then in the marketing team, we do have Zane, who is the reason why we have this training today. And on the CNI project division, do have Arno, who has the whole projects for IBC. Supply chain and sales administration, we have Shemaine, Kim, Michaela, and Tanya, who are then responsible for the whole supply and sales administration. On the accounting side, we have Hamu, who's our financial accountant. Now, this is the most important part. So we do have 4 sales managers. We have Leo, Kyle, Jason, and Ridar. So if you don't know who your sales manager is, please feel free to drop in on the meeting chat. Just drop in your email or your company details, and then we'll make sure that the sales managers reach out to you just to introduce themselves to you. And the technical department, you have myself, Alton, Vessel, Conte, and Jama. So we are responsible for any technical inquiries or any technical needs that you might need for after sales or pre-sales. Now, our IBC online portal, if you're not familiar with it, we do have an online portal training every second week of the month. So if you do want to partake or just be part of the training, please contact your sales manager, and your sales manager will then allocate time for you in order that you get the training that you need to be able to then maneuver around our IBC online portal to make any online purchases or get any documentation such as sales orders or tax invoices. So the one thing that we recently implemented, probably about 2 months now, we do have a webinar recording which you'll find on our shop. So if you do miss the training and want to have a revisit just to clear some few technical inquiries, you can go back to our online portal and you will find all the webinar recordings available for you. And the special for this month, our sales deal is if you then shop online for modules and selected inverters, you can enjoy an extra 3% discount. So this puts you in a very good position. So I would advise that you make use of it. So do make a purchase online for the selected inverters, and you will enjoy a 3% discount if you include also the modules. So if you do have any if you do have any inquiries on this, how to qualify for this extra 3% discount, you can then contact your sales manager, and they'll take you through it in order that you get your 3% discount. And from my side, that is it. And I'll then give this opportunity for Jason and Yako to then present Goodwe. So today our focus will be on our Goodwe inverters, and I think we're all looking forward to the training, Jason. And I think yeah, you can then take over, and then we can start the training for today.
Awesome. Thanks, Elton. Appreciate it. I'm just going to share my screen quickly.
Jason, while you share your screen, would
All
you
right.
like questions to be asked during the training, or would you like it to be after the training?
They can ask throughout the training. Once we've finished with the entire presentation, we'll just go through everything and I can circle back if there is any questions in that. But yeah, we can just ask during the training and then I'll get to it once we've finished with the entire slideshow.
Okay, thank you, Jason.
All right. Cool, thank you so much. So good morning, everyone. Thanks for allowing Goodwe to take up some of your time this morning. It's obviously highly appreciated. Like Elton said, I'm Jason Wasty, so I'm in charge of pre-sales here in South Africa for Goodwe. Joining me today, I'm going to be going over some of the other RMA processes and finer details would be Jaco Njof, our after-sales manager and CMI support. And then Jaco de Wet, our sales manager, is also in today. And our lovely marketing manager, Lindiwe, is also here. And we're hoping to get David Arvinga in as well. He's just a little bit under the weather, so hopefully he will join us during the meeting. I do have quite a lot to get through today, so I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet where I can. And yeah, if there is any other questions or alternatives, please do reach out to myself or to IBC, and they can get in touch with me as well. And I'll be more than willing to help with anything that you guys might have a query on. So yeah, so for today, I'm going to give you a brief rundown of who we are as Goodwe, and then I'll jump into our product portfolio, where I'll give you a little bit more insight into sort of our two main market products in the country, so our single phase and three-phase hybrid inverters. Yeah, so our vision and mission. Goodwe is a world-leading PV inverter manufacturer, just founded in 2010. We are committed to being a comprehensive solution provider, so we are an all-in-one solution from top to bottom, and we offer quite an extensive product portfolio, which I'll show all of you today. We are determined to become a major driving force in the global energy transition, building a sustainable future for not only my kids, but hopefully my great-grandchildren as well. Our Goodwe family, so we have a team of 5,000 employees across 20 different countries, obviously most of them being at our HQ in China. We have 150 employees overseas, and that number is still growing. I'm quite new to Goodwe. I started in April of this year, so our team in South Africa is also growing and developing to obviously help cater and suit to everyone's needs here in South Africa with a more local support system. At Goodwe, we are obviously looking to improve and build on our already strong products and name. So to achieve this, we have an R&D team of roughly 20% of our staff base, so about 1,000 members. And this is to allow constant development and engagement with each country and supplier to ensure we have market-related products that work for every circumstance and situation. So you might find in America, their hybrid inverters are not as popular because their power is always on. Whereas here, the market's slightly different, and we do obviously rely on that backup power because our grid isn't always as stable. So, that's where our R&D team comes in to try and give us the best of both worlds and have inverters that can accommodate everything. All right, so some of the Goodwe moments. Goodwe, like I said, was founded in 2010, but has grown exponentially since then. In 2014, our first hybrid ES inverter was launched. This is also the year that Goodwe entered the South African market. So we have been in South Africa for quite some time with quite a big market share with the ES series when it was launched. This has been obviously upgraded in time. We now have the SG2 and now newly the ES Unique. Just to note, obviously, some of these first generation ES series inverters that were launched in 2014 are still running today. So they are quite robust systems, meaning obviously that yeah, they are quite good units. In 2008, our headquarters in Germany, which now forms part of our EMEA region. With Europe being quite a major influence on Goodwe's products, this is quite a big stepping stone for us to branch out into the European space. In 2022, we went through a rebranding campaign where we revealed our new logo. So previously we had a little diamond shape. We now have the Goodwe W. Yeah. And in Q1 this year, which was quite a big step for us as well, we opened our first factory outside of China, so in Vietnam, which is mainly to target our North American market, seeing as China and the US are not always on speaking terms. So in order to keep that market share going, we have got a warehouse in Vietnam as well. Exciting to announce in Q3, Q4 this year, we'll be opening our new global headquarters in China, which is quite exciting for us. And holding thumbs that I get to go to it in person. I have not left the country yet, so to go to China would be quite a nice experience as well. Here is a list of some of our awards and accolades, most notably the TUV All Quality Matters Award, which we won for 7 consecutive years. And then in 2022, we won the Wood Mackenzie Top 3 Storage Inverter Supplier. Also to note, the Bloomberg NEF Most Financially Stable Award, meaning that from a financial stability point of view, Goodwe obviously checks that box too. Our global presence is growing with 11 branches globally, with more than 27 sales and service centers around the globe, 4 R&D centers with individual R&D members that travel around the world to give lifetime support and access to new developments as they happen in each country. So here in South Africa, we have had an R&D engineer that was with us for a few months earlier this year, and he assisted us with some functions and features that we needed, obviously, for our markets, which he had taken back to HQ now, and is all under development to assist us later. We do have a new R&D team member that's going to be joining us quite soon to carry on with this and move forward for our market. We also have 3 production facilities, the new one in Vietnam, as well as 2 in China. And then warehouse facilities, we have in all of our global markets. Here in South Africa, we do have an RMA warehouse to assist our service center. Very important, Goodwe does uphold warranty for all our products, and RMA cases are all processed internally. So essentially, we manage the RMA process from start to finish. Obviously, we do this in conjunction with our partners like IBC, but all of our RMA cases are handled by our internal team. So you won't be dealing with a third-party company. That is done directly by us. Some interesting information about our factories. Obviously, with the third one that's already opened, we now have enough production capacity to be able to produce up to 35 gigawatts worth of inverters and 2.1 gigawatt hours of battery capacity per year. And then since our inception, we've produced a massive 71.2 gigawatts as of December 2023, ranging from 7 kilowatt micro inverter all the way through to 350 kilowatts utility scale inverters. Sorry, I am rushing through this a little bit. So like I said, there's quite a lot to get through. So I'm trying to just get through everything before we run out of too much time. If I am going too quickly, Elton, Zane, please just let me know and I will slow down a little bit. But yeah, so who are we at Goodwe? We're not only an inverter manufacturer, but we are a full-on service provider with a wide range of products for many different applications. So we have got our on-grid or grid-tie inverters, and that's our residential range from 0.7 all the way through to 30 kilowatts. We've got our CNI inverters, 25 to 125 kilowatts, and then our utility scale inverters, 225, moving up to our new UT series inverter, which is 350 kilowatts inverter. And then we do manufacture our storage inverters, which is what I'll go into a little bit more detail on today. That would be our single phase hybrid inverters from a 3 kilowatt all the way up to 12, and then our 10 to 50 kilowatt 3-phase storage inverters. Lastly, we do have lithium-ion batteries from low voltage and high voltage batteries, which are obviously a great fit for our inverters. Alongside our inverters and batteries, we have got other sections as well. So we have got building integrated PV panels, we have got EV chargers, and then our SEMS portal, Smart Energy Management Systems, which is our monitoring platform, as well as the Solar app, which you'd be able to use for our devices as well. Yeah, so here are our grid tie on-grid inverters. They aren't massively popular here in South Africa, obviously due to power outages and load shedding that we experience. The hybrid inverters tend to be a more go-to product. Thankfully, for the last 100 odd days or so, we haven't had load shedding, so this may change in the future. So it's good to have these options, obviously. But yeah, with the hybrid inverters, we have got the backup capabilities, which does help you run your house at any time. There are some of our hybrid inverters, namely our ESG2, which I'm sure quite a lot of you are quite aware of. It's quite a popular inverter here in South Africa over the years. We have got a 3.6, 5, and 6 kilowatt single-phase inverter. And then we have got our ET, which is our three-phase hybrid inverter, which is a 15 to 30 kilowatt inverter. Both of these inverters have been further developed, obviously, for the South African market. So we have got increased capacities, and those are the ones I'll show you shortly. The ETG2 is coming soon, but it is not yet determined if it's going to be coming into our country. I'm sure it will, but essentially it is an upgraded version of the current 15 to 30 kilowatt ET inverter. Here we have some of our low and high voltage Goodwe batteries with the new Lynx D battery that will be launching very soon. Just to note, this does, sorry, it's my train of thought. Just to note, this does obviously include a standard 10-year warranty when pairing a Goodwe inverter with our Goodwe battery bank. Note we do have compatibility with other battery brands. You can reach out to myself or IBC to get this information. Alternatively, you can go onto goodwe.com and all the data sheets for all our inverters, as well as our compatible battery list, and more information will be on the website as well. So don't think that you only have to use Goodwe batteries. It's obviously, from my side, preferable, but through our partners, we are more than willing to help with any compatible battery pairings. And yeah. Here are a few residential solutions that we have in South Africa. The ES Unique is a follow-on to our successful ES range, the ESG2. So let's have a look at the ES Unique. So this is a new range of 3 inverters. It's an 8, 10, or 12 kilowatt model. Depends on the model, it can discharge up to 240 amps of battery current. CT directly connected. So what this means is that a smart meter is not needed. It is built in, so long as the CT, a smart meter will be needed unless the CT is connected more than 10 meters away. Sorry. The ES Unique is compatible with the Goodwe Lynx A battery and many more. These inverters are now also equipped with a dedicated generator port, which will be doubled up as a big load AC output. So let's have a look at the device. It's quite similar to the ESG2. It has now got integrated fans in it though, so it is slightly heavier. But when I say slightly heavier, it's only 29 kgs in weight. So with this extreme compact design, with the capacity of this inverter, it's obviously quite light, and you should be able to install it to a single person. Yeah. And then these are the parts and port numbers for the inverters for the ES Unique. We've obviously got the system operation battery, so C lights, protective grounding port, the heatsink and shield plate, ventilation valve, the direct current DC switch, and then the fans. So just to mention something about the fans, they are quiet, smart temperature controlled fans, so they don't constantly run. So they're only set to sort of turn on once your inverter reaches around 60 degrees Celsius, which would only really be under high loads or heavy PV intake. And that will run until the inverter reaches around 50 degrees Celsius, and then they'll turn off again. So they still have got the convection sort of keeping it cool, as well as the forced convection with the fans. And then we've got the mounting hardware at the back on 7, moving down to the grid disconnect switch, the PV DC inputs, as well as the battery DC input and outputs, and then the COM cables, COM ports, and then lastly, the 3 AC ports, the generator port, grid port, and backup port. So let's have a look at some of the parameters of the ES Unique. So we have got three models, the 8, 10, and 12 kilowatts. For the battery input data, it is compatible with the lithium-ion batteries. Obviously, it's a low voltage inverter, so you'd need batteries within the range of 40 to 60 volts. The max charging current is from 160 to 240 amps, depending on the inverter. The max discharge being the same, but if the battery current discharge value is higher than the inverter, will allow for around 10% extra for up to 10 minutes. The max charge power is 8, 10, 12 kilowatts, and the discharge at 10% more than capacity, so you'll get 13.2 kilowatts off your 12 kilowatts. PV string input data. So on these inverters, we do allow for the max input of double the inverter capacity. That's due to PV oversizing, but I'll show you that now. The MPPT operating voltage is between 60 and 550 volts. So this is quite a unique feature for Goodwe for this inverter, not only this one, but other inverters going forward as well. Essentially what this means is that almost as soon as it starts up, with the startup voltage being 58 volts, once it hits 60 volts, the PV production will start. We've seen with other inverters, your operating voltage will probably only around 120 volts. So you get additional PV generation production time much earlier. So, or when the PV panels are not drawing as much as 120 volts. So you could start producing 20 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour earlier, and until later in the day or on a cloudier day. The max current per MPPT is 32 amps each, so 16 amps per string, with a short circuit of 48 amps per MPPT, with the exception of our 8 kilowatts inverter, which maxes out at 24 amps in the second MPPT. That's due to only having one string, obviously for feasibility. Then we've got two MPP trackers with 2 strings per MPPT across the board, except for obviously the 8 kilowatts. EV oversizing. So our Goodwe inverters allow for EV oversizing, meaning that we can better use PV DC power excess after converting the inverter's capacity to AC power. So as you can see in the slide, it demonstrates what I mean. So we receive 20 kilowatts of DC power from the panels to the inverter. 10 kVA will output as AC power. The remaining 10 kilowatts will be used to charge the batteries DC. Other inverters, you might have 20 kilowatts worth of PV coming into the inverter. You'll essentially lose 10 kilowatts and only be able to convert a max of 10. So for example, you'd have 10 kVA AC going to the utility and only 3 to the grid, even though you've got 20 kilowatts of PV. This isn't just a sort of pass-through, it is all usable energy for our inverters. So like I said, you can charge your batteries as well as use the full inverter capacity to run your loads. So let's have a look at the AC output data for the grid or on-grid side. The max apparent power to the grid is around 10% more than the inverter capacity. So the max apparent power would be 13.2 kilowatts on a 12 kilowatt inverter, same as from the backup side. Output voltage is 280 volts. However, nominal would be the standard SA grid, 230 volts, 43.5 amps at 50 hertz. So this just shows we do allow for voltage imbalances on our inverter, because we obviously know our grid isn't always 100% stable. The AC output data from backup. So here we allow for overloading. So of double the inverter capacity for around 10 seconds. So this allows for your higher peaking startup loads to work on your inverter before to give you an overloading error on your inverter. So we have some allowances on that. Note that we can constantly output 10% extra. So like I've said before, 13.2 kilowatts on a 12 kilowatt inverter, and 11 kilowatts on the 10. The max output current of 40 to 60 amps on our standard 230 volts non-output voltage. The AC data for the generator. So just to note, there are obviously limits around the inverter there are the limit amounts that the inverter can handle. So a generator too small or too big may not be as efficient. Note you can set this on our Slogo app, so you can have a bigger generator connected and set the power limit on that. So just make sure your generator is obviously large enough in capacity to run your load and extra to charge your batteries should you require to do so. If you just want to run your loads through the generator and you don't want to charge your batteries, that's obviously your decision to make depending on the size of inverter that you've got, generator that you've got. Yeah, then we'll look at some of the diagrams for the ES Unique and then some of the modes as well. Yeah, so this is just a standard system setup with the generator connected to the third AC output. We have got our PV panels connected, the smart meter, which is only needed if the DB is more than 10 meters, but up to 25 meters away. The grid is connected along with critical on-grid loads. And then we have got our battery backup connected as well as AC backup loads with the manual bypass switch. So on the SolarGo app, in generator mode, you'll be able to control the start-stop settings, out of standby times, prohibited working time selections. You can also set parameters on your capacity settings, runtime settings, and set the battery charging function should you want to charge the batteries through generator mode. Like I said, you can also set your power limits from your generator, so you can use a bigger generator for a smaller inverter theory. Big load mode. So this is, like I said earlier, the generator port is doubled as a big load AC port as well. Keep in mind, you can either use it as a big load port or for the generator, it's obviously on port only. This does allow for conditioning output control. So you can select on and off time management for these loads and when you want them to run. This is an additional AC output that you're generally used for more non-critical loads. And you'd want to connect to your inverter, but not necessarily run normal operations from standard backup loads. So you can set them when you want to run them at high level of battery SoC, and when it reaches a set limit that you've input, you'll be able to disable that port and allow your other loads to continue for longer until obviously you get your grid or PV back up so that you can charge your batteries higher up again. Paralleling, so we have got two scenarios with the ES Unique. The first scenario will be with parallel batteries. So this is when you've got an identical battery size per inverter and you can run parallel systems through a bus bar. Just to note, obviously, your battery cable lengths need to all be the same between your batteries and the bus bar to the inverter. These are modules needed to install the inverters. The module you'll connect to whichever inverter you deem to be the master inverter, the rest of them automatically. You will need to remove all of our Wi-Fi kits, LAN kits, Wi-Fi LAN kits, 4G module, any communication device that is connected to the other inverters will need to be disconnected because the inverters will connect to each other using an RS485 cable, and all of the communication will be done with the EasyLink module. And then you can parallel with you can parallel the inverters with non-parallel batteries. So if you have batteries that are different sizes per inverter, you can still parallel the system with each set of batteries connected separately. There are two levels of how the changeover process will then work. You have UPS level switching and then obviously your EPS level switching. So if you have 3 inverters or less, you will get your UPS level changeover. So less than 10 milliseconds, you essentially won't notice the power dip at all. Whereas if you have any more than 3 up to 16 units with the ES Unique, you can parallel. They will be a little bit longer for the changeover. Compatibility list for the inverters, the batteries compatibility. So we have got the Links U, Links A, and Dynas DL5C batteries that are compatible with the ES Unique. I sound a little bit like a Verymark ad. That's not all. There is more. Let's have a brief look at other batteries that are compatible with the ES series. So these are some of the other brands. But you can contact IBC for additional batteries that are compatible. Alternatively, you can get in contact with me or have a look at goodwe.com. We have got a list of batteries that I can also provide to you. So these are some of the more locally available ones. And like I said, IBC will be able to assist you should you have any other requests on battery pairings and battery packs. They will be able to assist you with that, or I can as well. Okay, so this is our complete our complete ES series. So we have got our ESG2 inverters starting from 3 kilowatts up to 6. The 3 kilowatts and 3.6 are the same price coming into South Africa. So we do not bring the 3 kilowatts in. It was made for one of our European markets where they cannot have a higher hybrid inverter than 3 kilowatts. So we have got a 3.6 that was brought into South Africa. And then I have just shown you all of the ES Unique models. So that's that with regards to our single phase hybrid inverters. We can move on to our CNI range, which is growing and developing with new devices recently launched and more coming soon. So these are some of our on-grid commercial inverters, which are typically developed for the South African market, which are not typically developed for the South African market, but could be for your industrial usages for small businesses, small scale. The GT inverter is a very new concept of Goodwe's and still in preliminary testing stages, and a release hopefully later this year. We don't have an official release date yet. However, once it is confirmed, you will hear about it. Then we have got the SMT inverters that go from 25 all the way up, 25 kilowatts all the way up to an 80 kilowatts inverter. And then we have got the US and JP models, which are not manufactured for our markets. Another range that's not on here, but has been quite successful, is our HT 1100 volt DC series, which is a 100, 110, or 120 kilowatt rooftop inverter that's got up to 12 MVPTs at 30 amp input current per MVPT. And then we move on to our CNI energy storage solution. So we have got our new ET50, which is a continuation of the ET15 to 30 range, and then its battery pairings, the Link C indoor, as well as the ESA 50 kilowatt inverter, 100 kilowatt battery bank, but it is also known as the Link C outdoor unit. So here's the new three-phase hybrid inverter that we just launched, ET50. Like I said, it's a continuation of the 15 to 30 kilowatt series, and this inverter allows for free functionality via the STS that would be included with our market. It's 4 MPPT AP string inverter and is compatible with Goodwe's Link C indoor and outdoor batteries. So this is just a look at the ET50. So this is the dimensions for the ET range, with the weight being around 65 kgs. So you need to be quite strong, have a helping hand to comfortably install this unit. But in saying that, obviously the size and capacity in relation to the size and capacity, it's actually not that heavy. Here are the parts and ports for the new inverter. You'll note at sort of from port number 13 through to 17, there is no backup port on this inverter. All is controlled through the STS device. This is done so that the inverter can be multi-purpose, as it can be made for an off-grid inverter, minimizing the cost for the end user, and then partnered with our STS can be used for on or off-grid applications. So the parameters for the ET50, there are two models, the 40 and 50 kilowatt unit. For the time being, the 50 kilowatt unit will be the one that will be coming into South Africa. So this would be a high voltage lithium-ion battery to match our high voltage inverter, with the voltage range between 200 and 800 volts, with the nominal being 500. The max charging and discharging current is 100 amps, which is the same as the ET15 to 30 range. However, it's now connected via one single input port, whereas the previous models were done with two 50 amp inputs. The max charge and discharge power at 10% over the inverter capacity, so 55 kilowatts. We look at the PV string input data, so it's unique. It does allow for higher PV oversizing with the ET50, 1.5 times that of the inverter's capacity. So we allow for your standard 50 kVA AC output with the additional 25 kilowatts from PV, then you'll be able to charge your batteries directly. The MPPT operating voltage, again, like a lot of our other inverters, starts at a much lower voltage, so between 165 volts and 850 volts. So from 165 volts, your PV generation will already start. Obviously not optimally, because that would be at your 400 to 850 volts. However, you still do get your PV production from an earlier stage. The max current per MPPT is 42 amps and 32 amps each, with the short circuit current at 55 and 42 amps each per MPPT. With 4 MPPT MPP trackers and 2 strings per MPPT with the above parameters, you could have quite a large array of PV panels to support your system. Then if we look at the AC output data on grid, your normal parent power output to the grid is 50 kVA, the max being 50 kVA, with the nominal output current at 72.5 amps. Yeah, and then if we look at the AC output data from backup, so our standard backup output power is 50 kVA, the max of 55 kVA. We also do a lot of overloading here, up to 1.5 times for 10 seconds. This allows, again, for your big loads to start up potentially should be required. Your max output current is 83.3 amps. So our static transfer box, static transfer switch, is a box in STS. It can connect to your system between, it would be connected to your system between the DV and the inverter, and this is what allows you to connect your backup loads to your inverter. One of the biggest benefits of having an STS as opposed to the ports being directly connected to your inverter is that you can connect this next to your DV and up to 100 meters away from your inverter. So essentially you could have your inverter on the roof of a building and the STS in the basement next to your DV boards. It will minimize all of your cabling costs and that, as you won't need as many cables, obviously connecting from your DV up to the inverter. The STS will take control between all of that, The STS has also got a generator, backup, and grid load ports, with the generator port also being able to double up as a big load port if needed. The STS also supports up to 138 kilowatts and 200 amp output on through the STS, meaning it's quite robust and won't bottleneck from the inverter to your loads. All right, and then with the STS connected to your system, you will be able to experience the UPS level switching, so your changeover in under 10 milliseconds when the grid loses power. The STS will automatically switch your energy supply from your grid to your PV or your batteries to ensure that your backup loads are still connected. Backup loads that are connected to your STS will never interrupt. And then also still connected with your STS, but with a generator or big load connected. For the first scenario on the left, your big load and diesel generator are connected simultaneously to the STS, and the inverter can control both the start and stop of them through dry node. With the diesel generator, can also supply backup load or charge the battery. For the second scenario, only the big load is connected to the STS and controlled by the internal switch, which can save the cost of that extra external switch that is connected in the first scenario. Paralleling of the systems. This is in final firmware testing and should be active and ready quite soon. We have got some beta units in South Africa. We are just waiting for the firmware launch so that we can test this, but everything should be done towards the end of August and beginning of September, and then paralleling should be completely tested. So I'll give you a brief rundown of how this will work when active. Again, this is what differentiates the ET50 to the previous ET15 to 30. The ET50 can parallel, whereas unfortunately the previous could not. There are two scenarios when we get to paralleling systems. So there is with the EasyLink 3000, where you can have a max of 4 inverters connected. And then if you want to go even bigger, you can go up to 10 inverters connected with the SEC 3000C. The difference again with the EasyLink 3000 or up to 4 inverters, you'll have your UPS level switching, and with the bigger connection, obviously it will take slightly longer. We'll jump into the compatibility list of batteries for the new inverters. So we have got our Link C indoor as well as our Link C outdoor batteries, and then the Dynas Tower. We are in the process of compatibility with a few other battery suppliers, so this list will grow, definitely will grow. So our Link C indoor battery system, I will show you a little bit about that now. Here are the dimensions for the indoor cage and battery combination with the different models on the right, with the battery module quantity. So the 101 and the 120 is more suitable for the ET40, and then the 15 and 17 module quantities, the C138 and C156 would be more compatible or preferred for the ET50. And why I say this is because the common stack for the ET50 would obviously be the C38 and C156, as they can produce, 57, 57.6 and 65.2 kilowatts of power. These smaller stacks will also work for your inverter. You just won't get your 50 kilowatts on the lesser stacks. So in short, the 11 and 13 battery stacked will work. However, the 15 and 17 battery stacks obviously make more sense for the ET50 should you require the full inverter capacity on backup. Here's a little sneak peek into our Link C outdoor battery, which is coming soon. And by coming soon, I mean it is already available for order, but none have landed yet in South Africa, apart from our beta test sites that we are busy running. So currently, our 100 kilowatt outdoor battery system. These are battery stacks that allow for an all-in-one solution. So you've got your ET50 as well as your STS, and the batteries all in one in a neat Goodwe enclosure. This unit comes with built-in air conditioner at the back, which is quite heavy. We have got a demo unit here at the office, and myself and Yaku had to try and move it the other day. It is quite heavy, so it being an outdoor unit, you don't have to worry too much about it finding feet. So this battery series will be compatible with our ET series. The outdoor battery cabinet is designed for effective temperature management, so through the air conditioning. Obviously, we are very wary of having anything outdoors at the risk of it finding feet overnight. So one of the things that make this outdoor casing as impressive as it is the design being as rigid and protected. You could essentially have it in your building on the floor, rather than having to build a separate room for your batteries and inverters. Because of the design and the suppression that it has got on the cage, you'll be able to leave it on essentially a workshop floor without it being at risk of damage. Heat resistance as well. With the Link C, it allows for up to 3 batteries to be connected in parallel. So the first will have the external cover, where you have your inverter and the cable wireway, and then the next 2 just the standalone batteries. So in theory, you'll be able to have 100 kilowatts through to 300 kilowatts of battery power. If you had parallel the system, an example illustration, you'd have two banks connected. You'd have 1 kilowatt of inverter capacity with 600 kilowatt hours of battery. Here's a brief look at the inside of the Link C outdoor module, showing you where the PDU is, the wireway, and where the ET50 will connect on the left-hand side. Behind that is obviously the air conditioning, and then on the front, your battery bank. Lastly, this would be a great all-in solution for the ET50 with the STS and Link C outdoor battery. We'll be able to realize true UPS level switching. to backup mode or run your diesel generator with ease to replenish your battery's SOC. If the outdoor unit is not needed because you have got rooms indoors where you want to store everything, you could go for the Link C indoor unit, which would be perfect for you too. Yeah, so Goodwe does offer the BRPV products, which is particularly ideal for residential and commercial rooftops, prioritizing safety. Goodwe's PV building materials feature structural waterproofing, windproofing, and high impact resistance. So they are quite robust. Goodwe also offers an EV charger, whether it is in single phase or three phase, and it can connect to any electric car or EV brand, provided you've got abundant solar energy. At Goodwe, we offer a full solution from microinverters through to on-grid and hybrid inverters, which can all be monitored through our SolarGo app and on your phone through the SEMS portal. We have also got our off-grid inverters that can be used from a recreational vehicle all the way up to your massive PV plants in any conditions. And then lastly, to top this off, we've got a variety of BIPV materials and even an EV charger. All of this is aimed to reduce the carbon footprint, lower your energy bill, and use renewable green energy to also maximize the availability of power. Also reliability, which we don't have all the time here. Still holding thumbs at that 100 days increases to higher. All of our solutions are held up to the highest safety standards, so we aim not only to be clean and reliable, but safe for the environment and your household at all times. When it comes to our bigger commercial and industrial utility scale products, all of these are handled by us here at Goodwe with our partners like IBC, where we can offer a much wider field of products designed for your needs. Just to note, obviously, our utility scale products are manufactured and sent directly to South Africa on request, so no stock is actually held locally until we have identified the right solution for you. So we'll start off with our HT 1000 volt 500 volt series. This is the first of our really heavy hitters when it comes to utility scale products. This is used alongside a transformer or our MV station, which I'll show you now. There are two models for this. It's 225 kilowatt or 250 kilowatt inverter to suit whatever your customer's needs may be. Ranging from 6 MPPTs in 3 strings or 12 MPPTs in 2 strings, either model, for either model, with 30 and 60 amp per MPPT, max 50 and 90 short circuit. Like I said, you can have quite a massive number of panels per string to generate quite a lot of blue green energy. Now, with its operating MPPT voltage ranging from 500 to 1,500 volts, you will not go wrong with the HT series. Just on a side note, the utility scale inverters have been tested from between negative 30 and 60 degrees Celsius and can run optimally with ease. And then due to the IP66 rating for these inverters, they are rated for all weather conditions that we experience in South Africa and obviously into Africa as well. Our newest utility scale device, it would be our UT series, which is a 320 or 350 kilowatt series, because some people just require more and more power. With either 12 or 15 MPPTs and 2 strings per MPPT, maxing at 50 and 60 amp short circuit currents per MPPT, these units can really pack quite a punch. They can run slightly cooler temperatures, basically HT, 5 degrees less so, negative 35. Thank goodness we don't really ever experience that here. And myself coming from Durban, I'm not enjoying Johannesburg's weather at all. I can barely operate as it is in probably 15-degree weather. So the fact that these inverters can run at theoretically any temperature just shows how much better they are than I am. Also IP66 rated, these UT inverters can withstand most of what can be thrown at them. So all our utility scale inverters come with string level monitoring, meaning that you can detect any current issues on any PV string. This spot not string protection switch is supported for the DC side protection against short circuits or reverse connections. So seeing as most PV plants and utility scale sites aren't really on your doorstep, they're quite far out, the last thing you want to do is have to go to site and find fault. So firmware diagnosis, upgrading, monitoring can all be done remotely, minimizing your need to travel to site for every potential issue that may arise. Should your site not be somewhere with great signal, configurations can also be done via Bluetooth. Yeah, like I've mentioned, like I've mentioned before, Goodwe obviously believe in giving a full end-to-end solution. So to partner with our utility scale inverters, we do offer an MV station, which has got all the bells and whistles built in. It is a 20-foot container, which has got a transformer, low voltage room, and MV room for power transformation in your large-scale solar plants. The MV station gets set up and designed at our HQ and then shipped directly to site for it to be connected with relative ease. It is quote unquote plug and play. Let's just have a look at some of our case references. So some of our utility projects that we've done in South Africa and some other international ones as well. So we have got a rooftop PV plant consisting of 12 of our HT100 Goodwe inverters with 2,808 Longi solar PV modules with 1,516 kilowatt power DC, producing up to 2.3 gigawatt hours a year. This is in Makado, in Limpopo. And then we have got our Man Bus project that we did in 2021. The system capacity is 360 kilowatts. So 3 of our HT 110 kilowatt inverters with 806 JA solar 540 watt panels installed on the roof. As you can see below the environmental effect that projects like this have. So obviously the greener energy does allow for less square meters of forest that will not be chopped down, as well as many pounds of coal that will not be burned. Okay, then this is the first 350 kilowatt inverter project that was done in China with the inverter modules installed above a lake. Due to the very high humidity here, obviously some of these modules will get the effects of pit effects. So the inverter has got pit recovery and anti-pit solution, which ensures the power generation life of the modules. For the inverter itself, it is IP66 rated, like I said, making the inverter reliable running in these kind of humid conditions. Last project I'll quickly show you is a mountain PV station where the subarray is not regular shape. So some subarrays are quite big, some are smaller. So we can do a combination of a 250 kilowatt inverters as well as 350 kilowatt utility inverters to just be more flexible on your configuration or combination. That's the end of our product portfolio. Note there are some other options and you can contact IBC. They will definitely be able to assist you with the demands. I'm quite certain. So before I hand over to Yaku, I just want to go through our free training platform, which you can use should you have a SENS account already. So on our training platform, we've got multiple modules that you can select to do training on, ranging from your residential PV single phase all the way through to your CMR storage, monitoring devices, solar storage systems. Once you click on the link that I can provide to you, you'll simply fill out all the information and get ready to start learning. Note, you do need to have a SENS organization code for this. On the front page, you'll see all the courses that you are enrolled into, along with another tab of courses you had previously completed. So if we select the first course, which will be your residential single-phase PV inverters, you will get a list of all the information. Note this is sequential training, so you will need to watch the first video, complete it, and move on to the next one before moving on to the next one, and so on and so forth. You will need to complete a small quiz at the end of the video to verify the study material and then complete the course. So if anyone does wish to enroll, please reach out to me and I will send you the link and you can start learning more about Goodwe and what else we have to offer. I will copy this link now and put it into the slides, into the comment section, just so that you do have it if you do want to go back and look. Alternatively, please do reach out to myself or to IBC and then you can get in contact with me and we can move on from there. Yeah, so that's all from our side. Thank you all so much for listening to me babble on for quite some time. I hope everyone is paying attention. We are going to have a little quiz now to go through all of this again in more detail. Should anyone have any other questions, please do shout out and reach out to me. I will be more than happy to help. So yeah, thank you for everything. Thank you for your time. And I'm going to now hand over to Yaku Neil.
Thank you, Jason. Just a good warm Goodwe welcome from me, Jaco Neil, After Sales Manager, South Africa. I'm on the after sales side of things. So just to make life a little bit easier for everybody and so that we can work together. I just want to go through how to load a ticket today. A little bit touch on the RMA side of things as well. It's the same process as loading a ticket. The RMA is just a little bit more information that we need from you guys, like more photos, measurements, and things like that. I just want to make sure if everybody can hear me. And I did share my screen. Is that all okay? Is that all good?
Okay, now we see your screen. Perfect. Yeah.
100%. Thanks a lot. Then it's good. Okay, so like I say, this is just to make life easier for all of us so we can build a great relationship together. I know this process can be very frustrating, going up and down with questions going up and down. So we must try to help each other so that we can make it less stressful for ourselves. So this is just a quick recap and a link to load a ticket and to follow up your own tickets and RMA information. So I will share this presentation with all of you with links to Zendesk later on. So let's start with this. Okay, so you will go into your Goodwe web. If you're into Goodwe web, you will go to the next tab that will be support and services. And then you will go into support and there will be an online support. So then you can go into online support and then you just click on that. Then you will see that you are in the Zendesk online support now. Then you just click on submit the request. If you can see there at number 4. So you click request and then you will get the following page. So if you already have a ticket or account with us, you must just reset your password and sign in. If you don't have an account with us, you must sign up. So then you just go sign up, not sign in. So that's also a quite quick process. If you have to sign up, you will see the following page. You must go to create a password. And then only after you created the password, you can sign in. And if you sign in, we will go back to the following page that says submit a request. You will get the online form that you must fill in. It's a little bit more than just this, but that's a form that you must fill in all the information that you can and will help us. So that will help us a lot as well. The more information, the better for us. So that's this following screen. You loaded your ticket now already. So this is how you search for any new tickets that you submitted on the official portal. You can also search for your ticket number. That's on, if you're on my request, so your ticket will come up. You can see your status, you can view link, who looked at it last, when was it last looked at. You also can request as organization request. I will show you now just on the next slide. We will go into that one. Just let me see, there's the next one. That's the organization one. If you go into there, you can open all your open tickets. So all your open tickets will come up here. There will be then 5, 6, 7, depends on how many open tickets you've got. It will show you what's your status of your ticket, last activity, request, and so you can see all your requests from all the open tickets of your organization then. So the next slide will show us ticket requirements. That will, your serial number from the side of the device is very important. What type of device, batteries you use, any comms failure, date and time, when it happened. That's a very important one. So that helps us a lot to see if there's something happened. If you can have a time or a date, at least a date and time when it happened or when something went wrong, that will help us very much. That's a quite important one. And then as much as information as possible to help us to find a solution to your fault. Then any measurements from your inverter neutral to distribution PE. Again, this is just for the ticket side. If you do RMA, there will be more measurements and more photos and any other necessary information that may be applicable will help us. The more information we can get from you, the quicker we can get the solution for your problem and see where's your problem from. So that's on the ticket requirement side. Additional information, yes, any error codes found on the solar go to be screenshotted and submitted to us. And then please provide all testing photos and videos that you can submit. This will be more for the RMA. Then you need to send more photos through, more measurements and tests that you've done. That will help us as well. And that bring us to our next slide. This is the call center contact details. You will see there's a WhatsApp number that for you guys, there's a call center number. And if you have any problems with the call center or the escalation takes too long or you don't get any answers or feedback, there's an escalation contact here with my cell number and email address. So you're more than welcome. You can feel free to contact me or send me an email so that we can escalate and see what's the problem to speed up things on our side. So that's in a short nut. That's how the load ticket work. RMA process is exactly the same. RMA, we're going to just need more information, more photos, more videos, more measurements, to see if it's a warranty claim or RMA process or not. So that's all from my side. I don't know, Jaco, do you want to add something here? I don't know if Jaco's on. Jaco de Wet, do you want to say something extra here?
No, I think you covered everything. So yeah, just to recap, on the RMA side, so there's obviously two classifications for new tickets, a support ticket and an RMA claim, which is a swap out or replacement unit. So both start off with the same process. The ticket will be loaded. There's some information that will be required to start the ticket process, but you can start the ticket through the WhatsApp line. So you can use the WhatsApp to start a ticket. The minute you share the serial number of the unit, the ticket will automatically be created. Please just make sure that when you do log into your organization on Zendesk, on the RMA portal, that the key contacts for the company, for your company, anybody that will work with RMA or any after-sales tickets is registered under the organization. That way, every single RMA for the company will be on one platform. So it's very easy various RMA open cases. If all the users for that organization is registered on the platform. If that's not the case and you're not sure where you are, you can reach out to Yaku, and he can verify that your organization code has been created and that all the users are aligned under that organization. That's it from my side.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you for the training. If you do have any questions, please feel free to drop it on the meeting chat. I'm not sure, Jason, do we still have something that we need to do, or can we call this the final, the end of the training and just
yeah,
wait for a few questions?
Yeah, we can wait a few minutes for questions, but that's all from our side and from Yaku's side as well. Also, like the RMA process, we need that organization code for our Spring Learning. That code is also obviously necessary, so it's only applicable to people with a SEMS organization code.
Elton, and then just to go through some of the comments. So please note SolarMD is also compatible with Goodwe in the LV range. That is correct, yes. So on the ESG2 and the ES Unique, we support the SolarMD battery range, low voltage range. We are also in the process of finalizing testing with SolarMD on the high voltage applications. So obviously there will be different ranges for different inverters, but the ET15 to 30 is currently being tested, as well as the ETC and BTC 50 kilowatt unit. So that will be shared once we've concluded on the testing. It will be shared with IBC, and then you can share this communication to your customers as well. Then just as a side note as well, so the Link C indoor and outdoor battery options will be available through IBC towards the end of September. There will be limited stock, but we do have a shipment on its way. And then there was a question about the PCS for commercial scale. So we are in the final processes of launching our new PCS, which is 125 kilowatt with an integrated 261 kilowatt hour battery, which also can be paralleled. So the main difference here is the PCS is a high frequency PCS, so it is not transformer based, which obviously increases the efficiency heavily. So we're looking forward to that towards the end of this year. That will be launched. If you need information on this, there is quite a bit. We have some deployment. We have some units deployed already as beta units, so we could address quite a number of questions already on this. There's also a utility scale PCS, which will work with 600 volt AC, which will be launched at more or less the same time. This is not with a battery solution currently, so right, see if there was anything else. Okay, Elton, you asked about the MV station. So we've got a 3.5, 5, 7, and 9 megawatt MV station. So the 3.5 to 7 is specifically designed for the HT inverters, and the 9 is for the UT range inverters. With regards to the MVS, there's quite a bit of configuration and options on the MVS. So all of these inquiries are handled on a project-based scenario. If you do have a requirement, please reach out to IBC. Then we can do a full line diagram and go through the various options. And then we also do have a project that does the engineering drawings as well as the full system design and full system scope. So please, this is, you need to be in direct communication with Goodwe and with an IBC, but this is based on project-specific requirements. It's not something that will be stocked locally. The lead time for manufacturing is roughly about 7 to 12 weeks. and the container is shipped to South Africa as a complete solution. Other than that, okay, Jason has shared the iSpring Learning Academy link as well as the call center contact details and escalation contact details. So Yaku looks after CNI after sales. So this is limited to any CNI inquiries. If it's not CNI, if you've got a problem with residential, you can still reach out to Yaku, but that will be then handled internally and moved to. You can maybe give it a minute or so.
Okay. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining the training. All the details are on the meeting chat. So if you inquiries, RMA processes, everything has been put on the chat. Thank you, Yako, for that detailed information. And I think this will be very helpful for all the installers in our meeting, in our training today, and also who will be watching on our YouTube link. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. And if you do have any more questions, please feel free to then email IBC or Jason or Yako from Goodwe, and then we can just handle it from there. And please do make use of the Goodwe learning platform. This is good to learn about the product so you can be able to size things correctly and be able to design correctly. So without further ado, I'd like to say thank you everyone for joining, and we can then call this the end of the training.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye.